The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.
At one time, being a conscientious shopper only meant looking out for the best prices. Now it means looking out for the environment. Hi, I'm Paul DeJoria of John Paul Mitchell Systems. The shelves of this supermarket are full of all kinds of wonderful products for you to enjoy. But by shopping for products that are recycled or recyclable, you will not only be saving money, but also our world. Join me this week on Today's Environment as we take a look at others that are also making a difference.
Today, City Council is
reducing
9,000
reducing air
supermarkets
pollutants by
recycling a milestone.
80%. Educational programs.
Americans now throw away over twice as much packaging as they did 30 years ago. Many companies are introducing refills for their products. These use less packaging and leave less waste. By simply buying refillable products, you'll be making a difference. Here's a company that has found a way to be environmentally responsible.
Water quality is an environmental problem worldwide. Contaminants are placing greater demands on public supply systems, while more stringent discharge regulations are straining wastewater treatment systems to their limits. Conventional equipment is expensive, demands large amounts of power, and usually requires strong chemicals in the purification process. An alternative technology is now making rapid advances. When a Canadian contingent of United Nations troops rushed into famine-ravaged Somalia during Operation Restore Hope, they found water supplies so polluted they were forced to rely on airlifted bottled water from neighboring Kenya. But there was a solution. A high-tech water purification machine was soon at work, purifying it to drinking quality at the rate of over 100 gallons per minute and without the use of chemicals. The machine, called a reverse osmosis water purification unit, was manufactured by Xenon Environmental, an international water management systems company headquartered in Canada. Xenon produces a broad range of water purification and wastewater treatment equipment. At the heart of every unit is a synthetic membrane filter that functions much like the human kidney. This advanced separation technology is being utilized in several different environmental applications. When water is passed through the membrane, unwanted contaminants are removed, leaving purified water. In industrial waste streams, materials that might otherwise become contaminants can now be recovered and reused, in addition to the treated water. Through a cooperative undertaking between several divisions of the company, the design and manufacturing of the membrane filtration machines occurs. First, a sophisticated in-house laboratory provides a chemical and biological analysis of water samples. Then, process engineers use the results and other data to develop water management solutions for task-specific applications. This trailer-mounted membrane filtration unit was designed for on-site remediation. Mobile, relatively small, and easy to operate, the unit meets strict discharge standards and is ideal for emergency and remote cleanup situations. Shipboard desalination units in the Canadian Navy's coastal defense vessels convert seawater into potable and boiler feed water, and membrane filtration systems in hospitals provide ultra-pure water for renal dialysis or intravenous injections. The equipment can also be utilized to filter other liquids. This unit at a Canadian IBM manufacturing facility is used to purify organic wastewaters resulting from the production of electronic circuit cards. Through strategic alliances, innovative non-chemical solutions are being introduced. At General Motors, for example, a novel combination of biotechnology and membrane technology has resulted in the design, manufacture, and installation of cutting-edge systems for the treatment of oily wastewater in automotive factories worldwide. At this GM plant in Mexico, filtered wastewater is even used in the fish pond, ample testimony to the efficiency of the system. Some xenon researchers believe that the environmental potential of membrane filtration is so promising that the process may eventually be regarded as important to mankind as the microchip. That vision has yet to be fulfilled, but one thing is clear: a new multi-purpose tool is now available in the global struggle for clean water.
The office is a prime suspect in the war against waste. Enough office and writing paper is thrown away annually to build a wall 12 feet high that stretches from Los Angeles to New York City. If you work in an office, start recycling today. Let's look at another way to protect the environment.
Forest products are Canada's largest industry, with more than 250,000 people directly employed in manufacturing and another 750,000 jobs generated indirectly. They are also Canada's largest export. 80% of its pulp and paper output is shipped internationally. But as well as being the core of the Canadian economy, forest products manufacturing directly affects the country's environment. Air and water quality, forest management, and solid waste issues have brought this sector under the intense scrutiny of concerned individuals and groups. According to the Canadian Pulp and Paper Association, Canada's forest products industry has moved from being a contributor to environmental problems to being a contributor to environmental solutions. This move appears to have begun right in the heart of the Canadian forest. More than 90% of the country's woodlands are publicly owned, 80% by provincial governments and 11% by the federal government. Today they are managed not only as an economic resource, but also as recreational and environmental assets. Canadian companies have committed to a policy of integrated forest resource management. A team of foresters working together with wildlife biologists, other professionals, and interested citizens ensures that a variety of interests are considered and protected. Regeneration after harvest, wildlife and fish habitat, and water purity are priorities. Nearly 800 million new seedlings were planted in 1990, almost twice as many as 5 years earlier. Most of Canada's forest harvest is used in the production of lumber. The waste from sawmilling is then used in the country's 145 pulp and paper mills, and because they require vast quantities of water to operate, they're most often located near rivers. Every day, the mills draw millions of gallons of river water. It is cleaned and filtered before being used in the manufacturing operations. Then the used water, called effluent, is treated before discharge. Tiny wood fibers, known as suspended solids, often remain floating in the effluent. Since 1960, pulp and paper manufacturers have reduced these by more than 90%. Dissolved solids have been decreased by more than 60%, and airborne particles have been reduced by about 95%. In the late 1980s, a study revealed that minute traces of dioxins and furans, toxic substances known to cause cancer in some laboratory animals, were being produced in pulp mills as an unwanted byproduct of some manufacturing processes. Though later research indicated that these substances posed no health threat, changes were implemented to reduce dioxin and furan levels. Dioxin emissions for the entire Canadian pulp and paper industry have been reduced by 99% from their 1988 levels, now total about 2 grams per year. Canadian paper makers are also helping to reduce the flow of solid waste into landfills by using waste paper as a fiber source. The industry expects to make use of some 3.5 million tons of recovered paper in 1994, an increase of 75% over 1991. Though the industry admits there is still progress to be made, Canadian forest products companies believe they are now well on their way to creating a balance between economic growth and environmental stewardship.
Every year, Americans buy over 1 billion incandescent light bulbs. These and other forms of lighting make up 1/5 of all electricity used in the United States. Turn off lights when not needed and use the most effective light bulbs, like this compact fluorescent, which uses 1/3 the wattage and lasts almost 10 times longer. Now let's look at a company with another solution.
Polluted air is one of a number of major issues facing our environment, and controlling the contaminants in the atmosphere has become a top priority. Attention has been focused on the outdoor environment, but now there is a shift to a relatively new area of concern: indoor air pollution. The public was first introduced to this problem in 1976, when a number of deaths in a Philadelphia hotel were linked to Legionnaire's disease. Aggressive energy conservation programs during the early 70s, caused by the petroleum crisis, led to tightly sealed and poorly ventilated buildings. Numerous cases of sickness were reported by occupants of these structures. Thus was born the term sick building syndrome and building-related illness. There are basically three types of indoor air pollutants: gases, which include carbon monoxide and tobacco smoke; particulates, which we know as dust, pollen, and fabric fibers; and microbiological organisms like molds, fungi, bacteria, and viruses. Environmental Protection Agency studies have found levels of organic pollutants in some office buildings to be up to 5 times greater than outside. Today's extremely complex environment has many challenging needs for air cleanliness that can be addressed by air filtration. Filters remove toxic dust, pathogenic organisms, and many other submicron particles to provide a contaminant-free work environment. Specific users of these filters are hospitals, food processing plants, and pharmaceutical facilities, as well as coating and painting operations. With stringent demands being put on hospitals for better health care and more acceptable conditions, clean air requirements are critical. Each area in a modern hospital has its own particular air handling equipment and filtration requirements, so a variety are needed. AirGuard Industries, a division of Clarcor based in Louisville, Kentucky, has developed the BioPure air filter that destroys microorganisms on contact. Tests by independent laboratories have determined that this product reduces airborne bacteria by 86%. Another revolutionary solution to indoor gases is the use of catalytic filters, which can be activated at room temperature versus very high temperatures. These filters are a powerful tool in the battle to improve indoor air quality. Benefits include increased productivity and a higher quality environment.
Filters assist us in the removal and control and abatement of the 3 categories of airborne contaminants that are harmful to humans. These include dust and dirt, bacteria and other microbials, and volatile chemicals and gases.
With its air filter technology, AirGuard Industries is aiming to cure the sick building syndrome, building-related illnesses, and indoor air quality problems. Developing a series of environmentally engineered air filters to reduce pollutants is invaluable in preserving one of our most important resources, the air that we breathe.
Millions of us travel by plane every year. When you go to the counter with your ticket and the agent puts it in a jacket, say no, you don't need it. Have them write the gate number and the flight information on the ticket and help save a tree. The following is another way to help preserve the environment.
They are impossible to see, difficult to detect, and cause 1/3 of the air pollution in the United States. Fugitive emissions, as they are called, are the unwanted release of fluids from equipment within the piping systems of pulp and paper mills, chemical plants, and refineries. A major contributor to the leakage of these facilities is control valves, which regulate the flow of liquids used in a manufacturing process. A typical plant can have hundreds, even thousands of these valves, which control the flow of hazardous chemicals. The 1990 Clean Air Act created strict limitations on fugitive emission levels, prompting a demand for better ways to prevent or minimize leakage. Fisher Controls International, one of the world's largest control valve manufacturers, responded to this need. After years of studying the shortcomings of conventional technology, the company began a major development program. Their research and design efforts produced the EnviroSeal sealing system, which brings control valves within present and anticipated government regulations. This design fits within both new and existing systems, and it allows the industry to easily and economically bring its processing plants into compliance. Reports indicate significant reductions in fugitive emissions. Even at operating temperatures of more than 600 degrees Fahrenheit, EnviroSeal-equipped valves used in conjunction with regular servicing programs are meeting stringent regulations while at the same time reducing maintenance costs. Fisher not only helps its customers become more environmentally friendly, but operates its plants in the same manner. Switching from solvent-based paint to water-soluble and powder coatings, recycling machine coolants, and cleaning machine parts with water-based detergents instead of chlorinated hydrocarbons have helped to reduce hazardous waste and air pollutants by as much as 99%. Even simple ideas have proved remarkably effective. A sawdust-like material was once used to absorb oil leaks. The product was then disposed of by landfilling. Oil is now recovered by mopping and storing in pump stations, then later collected and sent to an internal treatment center for separation and recycling. The company also found ways in which to reduce its non-hazardous waste. Instead of landfilling, some 31 tons of used corrugated containers are collected each month, baled, and sent to a local paper mill for recycling. Customer shipments are packaged with materials that are fully recyclable, and biodegradable cornstarch-based pellets are used instead of plastic foam. Even scraps from metal banding straps used in the packing process or received from supply shipments are sold as scrap metal instead of landfilling. All of these measures, big and small, have resulted in the achievement of two goals: to provide a product that helps industry control a long-standing and difficult air pollution problem, and to manufacturing it in an environmentally sound manner.
At John Paul Mitchell Systems, we ran a special beauty salon promotion where we donated 10% of our profits of Super Clean Spray to the Elk River Forest Campaign to save our country's last remaining rainforest. There are many other companies such as Mr. Coffee and Ben & Jerry's that donate to environmental causes. Find out who they are and support them. On this next segment, you'll see how someone else is doing their part.
Water. It's the most abundant substance on Earth, but yet less than 1% is fresh. Scientists believe that the first forms of life started in the sea, and among its unique characteristics, water is considered to be the universal solvent. Given enough time, it can dissolve almost anything. It's also one of the essentials needed to sustain life. However, it should not be a surprise that the water flowing out of our taps is not simply H2O. Examination reveals that there are many different types of microorganisms and various trace chemicals in our drinking water. For the most part, these pose no health risk, but occasionally harmful microbes and substances do find their way into our water supply, and they must be dealt with. For example, Cryptosporidium parvum, or crypto as it's commonly called, has been found in surface water in all parts of the country and abroad. This microscopic parasite is commonly found in the waste of farm animals such as pigs, cows, and sheep. Heavy rains can wash them into streams and lakes and ultimately into the fresh water systems of towns and cities across the country. Unless properly treated, this water can cause diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and low-grade fever. The immune systems of an otherwise healthy person can fight off crypto, but the symptoms may still last for up to 30 days. However, people who have a deficient or weakened immune system, like AIDS or cancer patients, are at high risk. Outbreaks of crypto in several cities and towns over the last few years have focused attention on this health problem. The American Waterworks Association Research Foundation, headquartered in Denver, has taken a leadership role in dealing with this and other water quality-related issues. Operating as a nonprofit organization with funding from more than 700 member water utilities in the United States, Canada, Australia, and Europe, the Research Foundation has sponsored several crypto projects to find some solutions. One of the things discovered is that crypto has a protective shell. This makes it resistant to water treatment processes that rely on chlorine or other traditional disinfection chemicals. The protective shell also makes it difficult to reliably use colored dyes, which sometimes make identification of microbes easier. In spite of the fact that traditional chemical treatments are not adequate and that there is no 100% reliable test for crypto, researchers are confident that existing water filtration technologies are providing a great deal of protection to the public and are working to improve its effectiveness. They cite the high number of incidences where crypto has been detected in raw water supplies, but there have been relatively few people stricken by it. However, the American Waterworks Association Research Foundation is not content with the status quo. They are continuing the search for better testing methods, improved water treatment processes, and a better understanding of the biology and chemistry of drinking water.
The EPA's Green Lights Project, a voluntary program in businesses around the country, calls for the installation of energy-efficient lighting, as they've done here at Woolley's Fine Foods. It is possible to save $16 billion simply by changing our lighting. If you are interested in making a difference, contact the EPA and see what can be done. The following is another company having a very positive impact.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimates that in 1992 there were over 4 million babies born in the United States, approximately a 4% increase over the number reported in 1989. This is as a result of baby boomers becoming mothers. Disposable diapers from these babies contributed to less than 2% of solid waste by volume in landfills. Some critics have charged that they are an environmental threat, but their use is endorsed by many pediatricians on the grounds that they are healthier than cloth diapers. The new absorbent gelling materials in modern diapers lock fluid safely away from babies' tender skin. The Environmental Protection Agency and the manufacturers of disposable diapers agree that the true solution to the waste disposal problem lies in several viable recycling technologies. One of these is as a fuel to generate electricity. Since diaper materials come from wood and oil, they are a good source of energy for the new breed of co-processing plants. Composting of the material to produce fertilizer is another solution, which has been used successfully in Europe but is less appropriate when diapers are almost entirely composed of plastic. Separation and cleaning of the materials for reprocessing and reuse is still another alternative. However, regardless of which technology is used, they all rely on having the recyclable materials separated from common household garbage. And the best way to do this is to never mix them. Mondial Industries Limited in Brunswick, Ohio has come up with a new product that makes this easy. Their Diaper Genie is a sanitary, odor-free disposal system that both wraps and stores soiled diapers. To operate it, you simply open the safety lid and pull off the twist cap. Fold the used diaper, along with wipes, into a compact package, then firmly push it down into the neck of the Diaper Genie. Replace the twist cap and rotate the cap 2 full turns. That's all there is to it. The Diaper Genie can hold about 20 changes. That's almost a full week's worth of diapers. When the container is full, just follow instructions to remove the diaper chain. The choice between washable cotton diapers and disposable ones needs careful consideration. Washable diapers require a lot of soap and water to clean and electricity to dry. And disposable diapers can add to the volume of material in landfills. If you live in an area where water is in short supply, disposable diapers can be a better environmental choice. And while the Diaper Genie is not a final solution to the problems of dealing with solid waste, it's safe and convenient in the home, and it's compatible with all emerging waste management technologies.
It takes an entire forest, over 500,000 trees, to supply Americans with their Sunday newspapers every week. Make sure your newspapers get recycled and encourage others to do the same. It saves a lot of energy and significantly reduces related air pollution. I'm Paul DeJoria. Join me next week when we explore more ways to make a difference on today's environment.
If you know of any interesting environmental success stories, call us at 407-997-9800. This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care.